Hey guys, it's Brie. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing kind of a challenge. I looked all over YouTube and Google trying to see if anyone had really done this before, but I didn't see anything. So if someone has already done this, you should let me know who did it so that I can tag them. I wanted to do kind of a new makeup challenge, and what I was thinking is kind of swapping your makeup tools. So for me personally, I always use a beauty sponge when putting my foundation on, so instead I'm going to be using a brush to put my foundation on, and for my powders and everything, you know, I'll just kind of swap it. So when I am doing my eyeshadow, I'm going to try to put it on with a beauty sponge, which we'll see how that works out. But I thought this would be a super fun challenge to kind of see how my makeup skills are. I just want to kind of see what kind of look I can create, especially using like a beauty sponge to put on eyeshadow. We're just going to have to see how that is. I went and dampened 4 different beauty sponges, and I also have a couple that are dry, so we'll see, you know, what kind of will work out a little bit better. That's why I'm right here doing my intro instead of where I normally do my intro, but I figured we could try to do this, and we'll start a new swapping tools makeup challenge. I'm going to go in with this Wet n Wild primer. This to me doesn't so much feel like a primer, it feels more like a moisturizer to me. So I'm just going to pat that in. So basically I'm going to do what I normally do. I'm just going to switch up what tools I use. I seriously don't. Like, I hate using brushes to put on my foundation. Like, I hate it. I'm going in with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation. People say this smells like paint. I don't think it smells like paint. This is a Morphe brush. I've never liked putting on foundation with a brush. I feel like it's too streaky. I don't know, nothing beats a beauty sponge for me. I'll try some new stuff, but I always end up going back to my beauty sponge. I hate this so much. I just feel like it does not put the product on as well. I can't even tell you the last time I used a brush to put on foundation. And I know people do it. Like, people prefer this over other... My little sunburn. People, like, prefer this over other products or tools, you know? And I just don't. I've never liked putting it on. I feel like with a beauty sponge, it really just pats it in. I'm like patting with this, but it really just, it just puts it on so nicely. I already don't like this. That's okay. It's fine. For concealer, I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Fit Me. This is in the shade 15 Fair. So I'm going to put this on. I usually blend it out with a beauty sponge. So today we are going to blend it out with a brush. What do people normally, if they don't use a beauty blender? I'm just going to use this. This is a Crown Royal and Langnickel brush. It's just a small fluffy brush, so I'm going to use that today to blend out my concealer. Oh, I don't like that. Oh my goodness. I feel like that just feel like that just made all my wrinkles and like fine lines way more noticeable under my eyes. And I'm like blending and patting with that. Holy cow. That like did not work at all. But that's kind of the challenge of it. I guess this just kind of makes me appreciate my L'Oreal sponge a little bit more. That looks terrible. Look at my under eyes. Like, that is already creased and you can see every single little line. Holy cow, that's terrible. So I'm going to go in with my NYC Smooth Skin Loose Face Powder. And normally, to bake my face, I would use my beauty sponge. So I'm just going to go into this with a brush. Brushes pick up way more product. And I'm just going to place that on. The brush is way messier with this powder, I think. If you can see it like flying everywhere. So far, I can see why I normally use a beauty sponge. I like the beauty sponge way better than using a brush for foundation. Definitely for baking, it's way less messy. And using a damp beauty sponge to bake with, I feel like it just packs on the product way better. While that is baking away, I'm going to go in with my Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette. And I normally use a brush, so I'm going to go in with this small Eco Tools sponge and just pick up that product. This sponge is dampened, so we'll see how it works to blend out this powder. That doesn't look terrible. Just use a super light hand. Okay, so oh my gosh, that went on so dark and intense. Like, look at that. There's just like a patch of like super dark. I'm gonna try to blend that out a little bit. Okay, so that doesn't look terrible. It's just really intense. So normally when I contour, if I do a cream contour, I will use a damp beauty sponge to blend it out. But if I use a powder contour, I always use it with a brush. So that was interesting. It didn't turn out terribly on this side. This side looks a little bit crazy, but it didn't turn out terribly. Like, it didn't go on crazy. It went on pretty decently. So, I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm like confused. Like, it's hard to think it through in your head to go with an opposite tool. So I normally brush away the baking with a big brush. So maybe I'll do it with a dry sponge. I'm just going to take this dry, clean, this is the pure beauty sponge that I got in my BoxyCharm. So I'm just going to try to pat that powder away and just blend that out. And then I'm gonna go ahead and try to set the rest of my face. Oh my gosh, this is hard. That looks like a little crazy. So I'm just gonna blend that out with this dry sponge. Maybe if I would have went in with that contour with a dry sponge instead of a wet sponge. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, it just looks a little crazy. Yeah, that doesn't look bad. It's just different. Okay, so I'm gonna finish up all of my face and then we'll move on to the eyes. So, let's see. Let's go in. I'm gonna go in with that dry sponge and I'm gonna take this L'Oreal True Match blush. This is in the shade Innocent Flush. So I'm just gonna take that on the bottom. Okay, that was a lot. And I'm just gonna tap that onto my cheeks. I was not gonna go in with a damp beauty blender for blush, no way. I'd end up looking like a clown. So just tap that in. Actually, that turned out pretty good. That put it on really soft, not super intense, but that's what I like about this blush, is it's so light and it's just a really subtle blush and I like that. Okay, so for bronzer, I'm going to go in with my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, and I'm just going to do the same thing on this clean side of this dry brush, and I'm just going to tap it in. Holy cow, that took up so much product. Okay, I'm going to have to be really careful. I'm just going to bronze my face with that. I'm like so lightly tapping and it's still coming off super. It is so funny because with this bronzer, I notice with a brush, it takes a while. Like you have to kind of work with it to get it to show up because it's just really light. But holy cow, did that come off super pigmented with this sponge. So I guess if you're trying to get really bronzed looking, use a sponge, because with that product, oh my gosh, I look so crazy. But anyways, with that product, it showed up a lot more pigmented with this. And this is a dry beauty sponge. Holy cow. I need like a clean one. Okay, so I'm going to take this big, this is dampened, this is the big Eco Tools blending, and I'm just going to really try to blend that out because holy cow. Okay, so that might have saved it. It doesn't look terrible. I mean, it was looking a little crazy. I went really heavy on that bronzer. So for highlight today, I'm going to take the E.L.F. Baked Highlighter. And I'm actually going to take a dampened beauty sponge, just the top of that. That worked really good. That was like spraying your brush and then using the highlighter. It made it really intense. Like the face isn't that hard. Like this isn't really what I was worried about. I'm waiting to see what I do with my eyeshadow. That like globbed it on. That was like so much. So I'm going to take a clean edge of the dry one and just blend that a little bit because you can't be as precise with that big sponge. So I'm just going to tap that out a little bit. That made it intense. This is like, I think this is like a $4 or $6 highlight. I feel like it was $4. I really like that highlighter. So might as well just put my brushes away since we're going to the eyes and the eyebrows. Oh gosh, eyebrows. What am I gonna do for my eyebrows? I'm gonna use what I normally use, which is the NYX Tame and Frame Brow Pomade. Oh, eyebrow gods be with me today. What I'm thinking is gonna work best is this. This sponge is gonna get the crap worked out of it, but it has this flat edge. I don't even know if you can see that. It has this flat edge. Oh, there we go, right there. So I'm gonna kind of use the tip of that to sculpt out my brows. Oh my gosh, so I'm just dipping that ever so lightly into the pomade. I don't even know. Like, I don't even know how to start. Oh, that's... I can't even see what I'm doing. Now, I could have cheated and just went with a pencil for my eyebrows, but what is the fun in that? There's more. Oh man. Okay, well, come on, camera. Like, let's focus today. I seriously don't know what to do. I should have been better prepared for this. I should have went and got those teeny little sponges. We're gonna have to use a lot of concealer to clean these up today. I'm trying to think if there would have been a better sponge to do this with. Like this is not working. All I'm doing is I'm getting it literally all over my entire sponge. And I'm like trying to be really precise, but it is not working. Plus I like go to try to be precise and the freaking sponge gets in the way, so I can't even see what I'm doing. Like, I'm just putting it everywhere, as you can see. Okay, so I'm still gonna use a spoolie to brush those out because there's nothing I can like really switch for a spoolie. Oh man. Oh man. Okay, so we're gonna clean that up a little bit with some concealer. A lot, all the concealer. So I'm just going to take that brush that I used for the concealer earlier and we're just going to clean that up. Clearly I should have done brows first. I didn't even think about how terribly this was going to work out. So ridiculous. Oh, I just got like brow product all over, just everywhere. I think the hardest part is that I can't see very well with this sponge. Like, I can't see like hardly at all where I'm trying to put the product. That one for sure went on better. That's just my good brow though. Like, what can you do? So I'm gonna just spoolie that out. Oh goodness. That one, like, honestly doesn't look terrible. It's just, we're going a little more natural today with the brows. I'm just gonna clean that up a little bit. That one didn't get everywhere. They're just two completely different shapes is the only thing that's like really sucky. Okay, I gotta stop with my brows or I'm just gonna keep going. They look fine. Like, I mean, I wouldn't wear them out, but they're not bad. They're okay. Okay, so I am going to prime my eyes with my concealer. I normally pat this out with either my finger or a brush, so I'm just going to use a beauty sponge and just blend that out. Okay, even that was hard. Even that was like difficult. I feel like I should have had more clean sponge or dry sponges. I'm gonna use this. This one's not clean. I should have freaking washed these. Guys, I suck today. What can I say? I am going to go in with this palette, and I'm probably just gonna do everything with this one. I got this in my BoxyCharm, and it reminds me of one of the Naked palettes. So I'm just going to go in with this first shade to set my concealer. It is called Quartz. So I'm just going to pick that up on my beauty sponge. This beauty sponge is dry, so I'm just going to set my eye with that. I mean, my face, it really doesn't. Like, it doesn't look awful. It's just funny. So I'm going to go in with this light purple shade. It is called Dune. And I'm going to take it right on the tip of that sponge. I'm just going to work that above my crease. Okay, that's going to be a little more difficult. Can you see why I went a little safe with the colors? Holy cow. Like, the face was easy. I knew that the eyeshadow was gonna be the part that I struggled with. So I'm just like patting that out. I don't know how well of a blended look this is going to create, but it's like fine. I'm like lost. Like, I don't... I really do. I like need a smaller sponge. I'm like annoyed at myself that I didn't get smaller ones for this. It's fine though. I'm gonna go in with this darker one. I'm gonna go in with this darker shade. It is Clay. It's kind of a mauvey purple, and I'm gonna concentrate that as close to the crease as I can get it. Oh, that was not my crease. That was everywhere but. I literally went almost all the way up to my eyebrow. Just blending that out with the bottom part. I'm just gonna take this little corner on my small Eco Tool sponge, and I'm gonna go in with Mojave. I don't know what that is. But I'm gonna take that right on the edge, work that into the outer corner, and just slightly into the crease. doesn't look awful. So I'm going to take this damp, pure sponge. And I'm going to take this golden shade. It's called Sandstone. I'm just going to pick that up and I'm going to put that all over the lid. Wow, this really makes you appreciate your brushes. Okay, so I have that all over the lid. I'm going to take that same shade Sandstone and I'm going to put that on my lower lash line. That's as much as I'm doing on eyeshadow. Like it doesn't look awful. Like it doesn't. For how nervous I was, because I really thought it was gonna be hard. So I'm gonna go in with, what is this? The Wet n Wild On Edge Long Wearing Eye Pencil. This is my current favorite for my waterline. I feel like I did my makeup really fast though, surprisingly, for it being all hard. I can't with my brows. Like, they don't look terrible. You should see them up close though. That was like really hard. Probably, yeah, my eyebrows I think was the hardest. Okay, so I'm gonna go in and pop on some lashes. So opposite tool of that, I usually use my tweezers to put on my lashes. So I guess I'll try to put them on with just my fingers. I think that's what I used to do. Oh geez, already. If I had my nails done, it would even be so much easier. That was hard. The only thing is like the inner corner. I couldn't get it like really close to my lash line. I'm thinking I'll be able to put this one on easier though. We'll see. They went on pretty good. I'm gonna go in with my Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. There's not really anything I can do different on this. I put this one on really bad. This one like was closer to the lash line right here. It doesn't even look like, it's like not close at all. Go in with my Maybelline Master Fix. Okay guys, so this is the finished product. That was really fun. It was really interesting to kind of see how you have to manipulate your tools to kind of make it work. I think it turned out like decent. Like I don't feel like I need to just go wash my face off. I think it turned out pretty good. I was kind of nervous to see how everything would go on, switching, you know, swapping the tools and kind of using different methods to put on the makeup. But I think it turned out really nicely. It was really fun. I challenge all of you to do this challenge, and if you do, make sure to tag me on Instagram, on Facebook. But make sure if you do this to tag me so that I can watch yours and see how it turned out. So this is the Swapping Tools Makeup Challenge. I just thought it would be a really fun and different kind of thing to do. Make sure if you enjoyed this video to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I post new videos every week. I am currently posting 3 times a week. Go ahead and tag all your friends or your favorite beauty gurus so that they can also do this challenge. I think it would be really fun to see how everybody else goes about doing it and how everybody else's looks turn out. This really was a challenge. It really was. It was fun though. It was really fun to see how it turned out. Like, I was so nervous for the eyeshadow and the brows. I mean, they look okay. Like, they don't look terrible. I just kind of like filled them in a little bit, but the eyeshadow turned out decent. It's just really soft and subtle. Make sure to leave me a comment below what you thought of this challenge, if you thought it was fun. Also leave me a comment if you have any ideas for looks or products you want me to try out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in my next video. So normally when, okay, could we focus? There we go. I noticed, oh my god, I'm like really sunburned right here. I had a yard sale last weekend and I don't even know, but I'm like so sunburned right here and like right on the top, like by my hairline. My stomach's like growling, like literally.